What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Invasive Brews. I am Ranch Travigal, and it has finally gotten nice outside. And with the warm weather, the longer days, the birds are singing, I realize that I'm kind of tardy to the party to start my garden plants. But that is alright, so I'm going to do that today. And it also got me thinking that I see a lot of my neighbors do, and they're getting ready for their flower beds. And it reminded me that a lot of people, they like to do little pollinator gardens and plant flowers for pollinators, even if it's just for aesthetic reasons. People like to plant flowers. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is planting flowers for wildlife, planting a pollinator garden. And I went from the store, I got several different seed packets. And I'm going to share with you something that I think is really important to talk about, and that's what's actually in these. So the first one is called Bring Home the Butterflies. Very straightforward butterfly garden. I mean, it's a pretty big packet. It has about, I don't know, a quarter, a third full of seeds. And on the back it says this mix covers about 150 square feet, and it also includes. So it includes these species of plants, and a lot of them, you'll find out, aren't native species. So Mexican lupine is from Mexico and Guatemala. Purple coneflower is a native. Mexican sunflower, that's native to the southwest region. Calendula, I think that's one's from Europe and Southwest Asia. Mexican sunflower, oh, I said that one. Cosmos, depending on the species, Cosmos can be a native species. Cosmos bipinnatus. So this one actually has the scientific name on it too, so that helps a lot. Balsam camellia, not a native. Pincushion flower, that's also not a native. Barrage, that's from the Mediterranean region. Sunset flower, that's a native to the western region. Parsley, that's actually not a native, but it's a garden plant that a lot of people plant, including myself. Cornflower, that's from Europe. Crimson clover, that one's again not a native. That one's from Europe and Asia as well. It's not even our native clover that we have here. Blazing star, that's a native to the western region. Lanceleaf coreopsis, prairie gayfeather, those are both native species to our region. Sweet Williams, again, Europe. Rainbow mix aster, Calistephus chinensis. Okay, so that's the Chinese aster, that's the China aster. So that's not a native. Black-eyed Susan is a native. Snapdragon, yarrow, sneezeweed, those are all native. Common dill, again, that's another garden plant that a lot of people plant in their yards, including mine. The swallowtail caterpillars really like munching on those, so I'll plant those and just let them kind of eat as much as they want on those. Bishop's flower, that's from northern Africa and southern Europe. Lemon mint, Rocky Mountain bee plant, those are both native. Rocky Mountain bee plant, obviously native to the Rocky Mountains and western area. But this is interesting. Tall verbena. That's actually an invasive species from South America. So this one not only has a lot of non-native plants in it, but it also includes an invasive species, or one that a lot of states, especially in, oh wait, that's a different one. But a lot of states do consider that a noxious weed and an invasive species. I got a different one here called Feed a Bee Pollinator Wildflower Mix. And it has Shasta daisy right off the bat. That is a hybrid of two European species and a Japanese species. So that's two non-natives and a hybrid. Lanceleaf coreopsis again, Plains coreopsis, wild cosmos again, sulfur cosmos. That is not a native, but it is established. It is a naturalized non-native species here in the North American region. Purple coneflower, dwarf sunflower sunspot, those are both native in certain regions. Again, sweet alyssum, another invasive species. That one is, where's that one from? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do know it's a very bad invasive species, especially in the California area. Baby blue eyes, that's a Lacey facilia. Those are both natives to the western and eastern Baby blue eyes is western. Lacey facilia, I think, is an eastern native, an eastern United States native. Yellow prairie coneflower, Mexican hat, black-eyed Susan, all native to my area and the southwest here. African marigold, actually from Mexico and Central America, not even from Africa. Crimson clover, again, same as that other packet, the non-native clover. Zinnia, that another one that a lot of people like to put into their flower gardens, but not a native. It's native to Mexico and Central America. Bee balm, eastern United States. California poppy, western United States. Indian blanket. So this one actually has more native species, a better native to non-native ratio than that first packet did, but it still has that invasive alyssum, sorry. And then the same thing, I was looking at this one that I just got at Walmart the other day. It's Wildflowers Butterfly Mix. Again, Zinnia, Chinese forget-me-not, right off the bat. That's a non-native species. Marigold again, Cosmos, Sunflower, Blanket Flower, Sweet Alyssum again, that same invasive species. Sweet William again, Purple Coneflower. Again, this is about 50-50 native to non-native species. But this one is the one I really wanted to talk about, and this one is called the Kansas Pollinator Mix. And I am in southwest Kansas here, and this one's actually provided by our local extension agents, or extension office, and our Kansas Wildlife and Parks offices. You can just go ahead and pick these up for free here where I'm at anyway. And they have all native species: Maximilian sunflower, upright prairie coneflower, lemon mint, purple coneflower, false sunflower, black-eyed Susan, wild bergamot. Swamp milkweed won't grow as well here in my area as it will in other areas of Kansas, but it's also a Kansas area native, or Kansas area native, where we get a lot more moisture. Here, not so much. Common milkweed, showy milkweed, those do occur naturally here. Grayhead coneflower, stiff goldenrod, and butterfly milkweed. So this one does carry natives. So if you can find one of these around your area, I would suggest going after one of these, then one of the ones at the big office stores. This one was from a nursery, same place, and then Walmart. So those places don't really carry too many native species in their packets. They do carry some, but not 100% like some packets should, like all packets should. So why is it important to plant native species? Think of the ecosystem has developed over a millennia, and all these native flowers and plants are growing together with the native insects and the native fauna, the wildlife. And the claim on native species or native pollinator mixes like this is, yes, these other ones will attract pollinators. All these are flowering plants. Some of them are perennials, a lot of them are annuals. But they will produce flowers, and that will attract pollinators. But it will only attract the pollinators in their adult form. Whereas the native species, they can attract the pollinators as a larval form. So they can support that larval stage. And the best example of that, or the most known example of that, is the milkweed and monarch butterflies. The milkweed is the only thing that the caterpillars of the monarch butterflies can eat or consume to develop into those monarchs. Let fewer and less milkweed, the fewer the monarchs are going to be. Same way with all species of pollinators, especially butterflies and moths. And other species like that. They require different host plants, and those are called host plants. Whereas they lay their eggs on it, and the caterpillars can consume it, develop into that butterfly. That's why I plant dill and parsley for the black swallowtails around my area. I will find little green eggs on even my carrots, my parsley, my dill. I'll just leave them be, and they will consume what they can. And what the birds don't get, they develop into those black swallowtail butterflies. So that is why you should always pay attention to your seed packets, especially if they have a invasive species in it, like this one and those other two big box office stores did. They had two different invasive species, so if someone were to just nonchalantly not know, because they trust what's in here and spread these flowers, they could potentially introduce an invasive species to their area. A lot of these non-natives, however, they do naturalize, but they just don't offer the ecological benefits as our native species do. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today as I was looking through these and saw that. But I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, one more thing that I did want to talk about is a simple way to find if it's native or non-native is kind of, if you go to the store, you can take a picture on your phone of the back, or even go to their website, look on their websites, and they usually have the seed packet pictures on there. And you can go through there and look, and then a quick Google search. All you got to do is look up lance leaf coreopsis native range, and it will give you kind of the native range of that plant. If it does offer the scientific name like this packet does, that'll come up with better results for your search and make it a lot easier on you, because common names can be kind of confusing. So with that being said, that's why I always say plant native and drink local. But I'm going to go ahead and finally start my garden plants, my tomatoes, my peppers. It's going to be a late season for me, but it is what it is. Hopefully I can get it going. But until next time, plant native and drink local.